Spark is science-based, inspiring, and bold. Spark Sustainability is a climate startup with a scalably carbon negative business model. So that means that the more we grow, the more emissions are saved. It actually started with our own curiosity for how emissions from different sectors actually relate to each other. So if I choose to eat less red meat, for instance, how does that relate to my decision to not fly to Thailand? So it's all about curiosity and positivity, actually spreading the knowledge that carbon neutrality is possible. Individuals tend to think that they can't be part of the solution, when in fact they're a very big part of the solution. So to consumers, we offer tips and practical help with taking climate action through our app and through social media. And to businesses, we offer consultancy on climate strategies and calculating emissions. And we also offer visibility on our app to the consumers who are very interested in how to mitigate emissions. So I'd say the impact of all of these three is always mitigated emissions and knowledge about how to mitigate emissions and why it matters. The Donut app is a carbon tracker for individuals. And what that means is that when you take it into use, it will provide you with a test and you calculate your own lifestyle emissions. And after this, it starts generating personal tips for you. So these are tailored to your lifestyle and tell you how you precisely can mitigate emissions. The way that this is different from a lot of other carbon trackers is mainly that there's a level of concreteness in this, so that we're actually giving tips about certain products and certain services that are available in your area and can help you to mitigate emissions. Things that obviously reduce your emissions as an individual. Our values are respect for people, respect for nature, and honesty, so transparency in all terms. And the way this is reflected in our business operations is that whenever we calculate emissions, whenever we sort of tell people or businesses about climate change or about emission reductions, there is always the methodology is always shared. So that's about the openness and the honesty and being frank about what is included in the calculations. And obviously, our operations are all about mitigating emissions, both in businesses and amongst individuals. So that's sort of the respect for nature and respect for humankind. Ooh, what does sustainability mean for Spark Sustainability? To us, it's not the typical sort of add-on ESG goal. To us, it's the very reason we exist. This company exists to mitigate emissions. It's why we have a company, and it's why we have a strategy to begin with, and it's the main thing that we measure, how much emissions are reduced. So the core impact that we're making is mitigating greenhouse gas emissions. That's the one that we're constantly measuring, and that's the one that's in our strategy to grow the emissions mitigations as we grow our operations. So we're definitely on the number 13, the climate action UN goal, and that's all we do. That's why we exist. But we're also a little bit on the renewable energy goal, the number 7, because we always check whether the businesses that we're doing consultancy for or whether the individuals who are reading our tips have renewable energy or not, and we're always trying to increase the amount of renewable energy that is being used. And then there's another one, there's sustainable cities and communities, number 11. And that I see is it's a very integral part of sort of the future that we're trying to build at Spark Sustainability. We're trying to motivate people to live in a more sustainable way, in a more climate smart way. So that's sort of an outcome of what we do. We see a future where climate action is the new norm, and Spark Sustainability is part of building this future and creating this new narrative that life can be really fulfilling and super awesome with new habits. And I hope for Spark Sustainability that we're there along the way to inspire discussion and to lead the change, but to also learn from the change and to constantly keep evolving and see how we can support this change towards a more climate smart future and 1.5 degrees lifestyles, really. We're all in this together, and the results will be awesome.